Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to LA Noire. So we got in a weird position because we're doing a case that has us chasing around clues left by the Black Dahlia. And we're supposed to go search the Hall of Records now. It's taking us to landmarks. And last time we took a little bit of a break.
Can you drive to this
driving around, unlocking the vehicles. For no real reason. There's literally no reason to have secret vehicles and hidden vehicles in this game, as far as I can tell. But we're almost close to halfway done, so I figured we'll try to make some more progress on that later on. Here's another landmark. We are in enough of.
Let's turn, shall we, during this
We're in another parking lot, so we'll take a moment to get in all of these. Interesting, all the cars are parked in the same direction. When you, like... No, I guess they're not. They kind of are randomly placed after a while. So this was one of the secret cars that we unlocked, and now it's just going to start showing up in parking lots. But there's still a lot of other vehicles that we've got work to do on. Like, while there are about 5 vehicles available in hidden locations, there's still well over 45 vehicles that are just either driving around right now or won't unlock until later on. We are way past the halfway point if this is really a 20-hour game. The problem is when I look at and see how long the game is, I go to a website called How Long to Beat, and for my gameplay style, I am always longer than what it estimates. So what they said was between 20 to 30 hours. 20 if you just played the story, and 30 hours if you specifically tried to get all the collectibles. We are at the 13th hour, and I don't feel like we are much further, or even maybe below, might be below the half-hour mark.
Can I help you, sir?
So we gotta scale the chandelier in what could only be described as a Assassin's Creed-esque style mission in the Hall of Records, which, like, I'm not sure how nostalgic people who have been to or lived in Hollywood would really be for the Hall of Records, or if it looks anything like this in modern time. And there's a bunch of doors that don't open. I suppose we could see if we could talk to this guy.
Detectives, LAPD. This is very important, sir. How do we get to the top of the chandelier?
You what?
Have a little faith, pal. We're in a real hurry.
Head up to the top floor. There's an access panel and a ladder in the maintenance room.
So we just ask. Now, I don't know how we know for a fact that it's... Knock that over good and proper. That it's on top of the chandelier and not hidden somewhere else. And if there is evidence somewhere around, then I should find it and look for it as a detective, instead of just following a serial killer's clues towards the puzzle, towards the evidence they want me to find. I need to find evidence he doesn't want me to find, evidence he doesn't know he left behind. Something that would really incriminate him. Yeah, let's see, we've gone full circle on this section. Land Registry Office, which means maybe we'll come back here. Police Department with some records. And he went that way, so I'll go this way. It frankly doesn't strike me, Police Department records room. LAPD records.
We wanted to move in together when we're not even married.
I can't even talk to him. Wow. Look at this. I was gonna say this building doesn't really have enough space to hold records. And honestly, I still don't feel like it does. But I will say the game did spend some effort. They made some effort to have a records department. Of course, we never use any of this. We always just call KGPL or dispatch or whoever it is, and they pull up records for us.
Poor guy must be going.
Which, wouldn't it be weird if it turns out we could have done this at any point? Here's the maintenance door. Is there anything else to look at or interact with? Not really. Like, all those times I called in KGPL, maybe I could have just come to the Hall of Records and looked it up myself. I don't think so. Alright, one more alcove. A big circular building like this doesn't suit well for a library or
Let's go.
or Hall of Records. It's too fancy. Up we go. Climbing the ladder to get a little bit higher. And through this. How could somebody... Like,
Better you than me. Be careful. Could be a trap.
how could somebody get here and put that evidence? Here we go. We have a perfect example of something that doesn't need to be in the game. This is not Tomb Raider. This is not an action game. We don't need a balancing mechanic added 13 hours into a game. And I don't for a second believe a chandelier would take the extra weight of a man. Or even something this big and fancy.
Here's Muller's missing watch.
So now we're finding evidence from the previous cases that we thought we had somebody for.
The temple's high of man's ear and eye, roofed over sculptures and poesy. Where have I seen that?
And he only reads the first couple things. And see.
Jesus Christ, hold it off that goddamn thing. Find a rope, Rusty. It's time. Get me to swing that thing from side to side. Get it over the edge, then jump for it.
Let's see, I'm trying to swing it, but it's not swinging the way I was trying to swing it.
It's gonna go any second. Put that goddamn thing and jump for it.
So that was a pointless action sequence to do. What happened to the policeman or the secretary behind the desk?
Yeah, well, the higher you climb, the further you fall.
Let's get out of here.
So here's...
Another Dahlia clue?
No.
There's something flickering over there.
The Molder Dame.
Yes. And a scrap of the poem.
Another location.
If I can work it out.
So... The proper way to have done something like this would have simply been to just lower the chandelier. It was being held up by rope, and those are usually on winches or cranes. Hey, we found one of the hidden shields. 2483. And that gives you 5 extra XP. These collectibles are part of DLC, and frankly, so then they don't even seem like they unlocked until you had hit this point in the story. So the game starts for real now, as far as the DLC is concerned. And let's see. We have a completely different set of cars in the parking lot, which makes it worthwhile to do what I'm doing. Somewhat. It's still an incredible pain, and it would be way easier and better to just have to walk up and either touch or just walk near the cars or look at the cars. But that's not how it's working. I think maybe if I hit X right now, I would get help from my partner and know where to go. But otherwise, I think what's the deal is we are looking for landmarks and cars. Not the cars really don't matter, but the landmarks do. On top of that, there, I believe, is a hidden car right around here. So I don't want to drive off in one of these. We unlocked about 3 for going through about 10, which is not the biggest return I would like. And some of these cars are clearly similar, but I don't want to make a mistake and miss one. In case there's 2 models of cars that look really close together. So you're just getting some background noise. Alright. Haul a vehicle. Let's see. Players here. Hall of Records is here. It doesn't seem like there is a car. It also doesn't seem like there is a secret. So we'll just move forward and have him drive.
You're behind the wheel.
So we're gonna have to go find some more hidden cars and just waste some time. It seems like this mission is specifically built around the idea of wasting times. Which is alright, but it doesn't work greatly in the setup that we're in. Because we've done so many cases where it was direct from point A to point B to point C to points D and E. And for them to start asking you to meander around the open world and change the gameplay makes it feel like a different game. It makes me wonder if there was divisions in their team that had different ideas on how the gameplay was supposed to be implemented. It doesn't feel like a smooth transition. Alright, so easiest thing to do here is to zoom in and put the hidden vehicle on the map so I know at least the general direction I'm going. Darn it. Gonna have to find a different way around. And running is certainly not fun. We've done a lot of it in this game, but it's not something I'm looking forward to. Can't climb up the edge there. Honestly, I suppose that this is a real case of there's only a small number of places where you can climb up the side of some buildings. Look at this tiny little car. The Stout Scarab. Back in the day when people just made cars to look weird. Alright, next one. It's kind of hard to tell. There's a hidden vehicle over here. That's not the Hall of Records though, so.
You know the way. You can drive.
He keeps mementos from all his victims.
This guy needs to be taken out of circulation.
He takes pleasure at stringing us along, demonstrating how much smarter he is.
You can enjoy it while it lasts. Got you now, genius. Coming for you.
I suppose I should keep an eye out on the road just to see if there's other cars driving down the street that I haven't
Where
seen
next?
before.
From the temples high of man's ear and eye. It has to be the tower at the public library, doesn't it?
You say so.
So you go to 2 locations, and when you've been to 2 locations, he figures out where the car is. Not where the car is, man, I'm obsessing about cars right now. He knows where the next clue is. And there's probably a nice collection of clues that we're gonna chase after, considering how many cases we've done that we thought were Black Dahlia copycats and they're now turning out to not be copycats. Another very low to the ground car. We are now at 49 of the 95 cars to unlock. So to the public library we go. And see, there was a question mark there. And we saw a question mark here, but I don't think the question mark always means hidden vehicle. I guess it means hidden item. This map needs more color and just to be easier to zoom in and
I need to go over
use
the case notes.
more detail. We've seen this library with that weird kind of Illuminati eye and ear on it. We saw it, I believe.
I'm pulling rank here, Cole. I'm not hauling myself up there. Go get him, Tiger.
And see, there's
Slow me down anyway,
a
old timer.
picture. And we're not going into the library, we're going on the outside, which is fine. More climbing, more physical activity. Again, very much like an Assassin's Creed game, and making very little sense for this game. And we even have the Assassin's Creed birds coming up. That was the first hop I've ever seen. There's an air conditioner vent that's broken. Let's see. Still haven't found a single film reel. in the game. I'm pretty sure I didn't find all of them even when I first played the game, so I imagine you would need a guide. There's not really too much stopping you from playing after you're done with the main story, as far as I recall. So I imagine if you just needed those extra few hours of collectibles and gameplay in this world, if you just loved this concept and this world of fake Hollywood, there goes my hat, you would have something to do. This game is really the perfect example of the ideas of trying to sell a game based on the number of hours of gameplay instead of selling a game based on the quality of the gameplay. And you can see all they've done is added collectibles in an open world to something that didn't need it. Now, I have my mini criticism of Telltale games, but I do have to applaud their decision to just make games short and sweet. Sometimes they also make them a little too lazily, and they certainly make them with a engine that could use a lot of improvement, but at least they keep things short and sweet. I'd much rather do 5 games that were 5 hours long. Particularly now in 2017, when so many games can be played for free.
Sometimes a step backwards is a step in the right direction.
Or free to play, or there's just a ton of cell phone games competing for people's time. Even on the consoles, these days you usually are getting at least a couple of free games every now and then. This is just really out of left field. What's funny is I can't jump over the edge here to get on this. And there would have been no ladder to get up here. I don't know what they're doing that it needs all this construction around it. Are they stuccoing the walls, or painting the walls, cleaning the walls? Why are there no workers? This can't possibly be permanent construction, considering there's 4 doorways that you could reach this point internally. Shakespeare, Goethe, and there. Let's see what this says. St. John, David, Plato, Dante, and that's the ear, Milton, Homer, so I think all of these are famous writers. And now we have the religious medal. So if one of these missions was DLC,
Our Lady of Guadalupe,
then they would,
from Antonia's necklace.
they would have had to add some storyline here, or just skip that one. So I suspect that the extra DLC missions
Round which death
aren't
lasts,
Black Dahlia
sepulchre
ones.
emblems of dead destruction, ruin within ruin. So this is a treasure hunt.
And see, this might take us to the
What is it this time?
movie
A
set.
religious medal from the Maldonado case.
The Dahlia, Moeller, Maldonado. This gets out.
We still have to find the guy, Rusty.
Another poem. Well, you must have some idea, right? Come on, Phelps. We're on a roll here. Don't let me down.
We? You're not really helping at all. The way this is working doesn't particularly ensure that I have enough time to think of the solution myself if I didn't know what it was off the top of my head. And I may not know what it is actually off the top of my head. Here we go.
That price is outrageous.
4 more cars to get in this slanted parking lot. See, that car over there looks like one we may have not ridden. But I would have guessed the car I just got in would have been one I had already gotten in. The more boring looking cars are going to be a lot more difficult to figure out. Alright, now map time. We see the LA Public Library didn't have a secret car, so we're making our way now. We only have a few more of these. Like a hidden vehicle here, hidden vehicle here, hidden vehicle here, hidden vehicle here, and then that's it. And you really don't have another thing to do. I suppose maybe if you hadn't been doing any of the crime sections in between this part, maybe those would have been available to you. But that doesn't really fix or improve the outcome. Interesting. Where is it? Seems like it likes to put me slightly away from where it is.
Oh, Susie, you are so bad. Top of my class back.
So it's not this car. And see, when you get close to it, the spot that you mark actually disappears, making it more difficult. Notice how that door opens on the other side. I feel like if you wanted a game with a bunch of old cars, this is the exact wrong game for that. Like, I could totally see any number of racing games putting in old 40s and 50s cars. You probably could do something great where you covered every single kind of car that ever came out. Or at least plan to.
As long as we catch the guy.
Something like Dirt or Need for Speed or something like that. That would be really cool. But in this game, it doesn't matter. You're barely gonna drive them if you drive them at all. Why did I end up at the Westlake Tar Pits? I thought I was driving to why did I end up here? Oops.
Hey, Cole, let's get moving.
So I think I may have accidentally driven to the place where I needed to go unintentionally. Oh well.
These are my best shoes.
I suppose that
I'll leave you.
there was a chance of that happening.
Very funny.
You're gonna keep your hat on but change your outfit. And in... I guess we don't go?
Whoa! Get a move on, Cole. Those boards are sinking. You want to end up like the other fossils?
So I have to walk between the boards
Gangway
in this
around,
maze.
Can you see it through the car?
Steady.
How you doing out there?
I'd be doing better if you were the one trying to get across this thing.
Why would you even build something like this? Is this really how the tar pits are? There's a bunch of platforms you can wade through and get stuck in the tar. And look, if that elephant, for example, or mammoth couldn't make it through tar, you think a human could? Take a boat. Take a blimp. Take a hook or something. So now we've got the white shoes of the lady in the green dress, I believe.
One of Teresa Terrelson's shoes.
Teresa Terrelson.
A sphere which is as many thousand spheres. Okay, where to now?
That's funny, he read the second line of the information. I guess there's nothing else to do here. So it just jumps to this cutscene.
An open-toed white shoe and another stanza from a poem.
Oh, I really thought that hobo bum did the Terrelson broad.
Confessions from the insane aren't the most credible evidence, Rusty.
Is this thing over?
It's all part of his power over us, making us run round all over the city for the crumbs he's leaving us.
So if we keep this up, we can find the guy?
Probably not. So, just take a quick look around to make sure there's not some flashing collectible. That's what I thought. 2483. Same badge number each time. I'm getting that extra 5 experience. If we took advantage of that, we probably could get an intuition point or 2 extra. Let's zoom out, just make sure there's still no cases to work, no street crimes. Very little here. Like, maybe if we went back to each landmark that we haven't found a badge at, we would find one, but may also be the case that Christ of Crown of Thorns, I don't think that's right. Art Museum, hidden vehicle. Hidden vehicle, hidden vehicle, hidden vehicle. We're falling a little behind on the hidden vehicle point.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
So let's try to get those done.
Entertainment is on
Extra.
Radio.
Clearly this mission is built around the idea of having all of the hidden vehicles done
I read about it in the news.
by the time you're done. Alright, map. I am here, the hidden vehicle is there. That points me this direction. Ah, there it is. So I guess the way this game works is you solve the clue if you end up at the place you're supposed to end up at before the game tells you that you're supposed to go there and puts the yellow flag on it.
And they're 6'8"
This is the Chrysler Woody, one of a very popular, famous cars. But also his other cars would probably only be interesting to people that had them.
You're behind the wheel.
It was called the Woody because it was made out of mostly wood, or wood paneling.
So this guy looks out for women in bars who've had too much to drink.
Who are emotionally disturbed.
Need a shoulder to cry on, he plies them with booze.
Probably offers them a lift home.
Then beats their brains out and strangles them. Could be any schmo hanging out in the bar.
No, not anyone. He displays the bodies, leaves us messages. For all the violence, it's very controlled behavior.
You know, come to think of it, yeah, there should be some car lots somewhere in this game where I could see a bunch of cars for sale. But the only car lot we saw so far in the game barely had 10 cars in it. 53 of 95. The funny thing here is there's a very heavy chance that I'll get all of the hidden vehicles in the game and miss one normal vehicle somewhere. But even at that level, that's not a big deal because then I could probably look up a list of cars that have been unlocked and just find out. Because on the main menu there is a car gallery option. It's a lot of work there, though. A lot of work. What's this one? A Ford H-Boy. Alright. Map. Next hidden vehicle is here.
You know the way. You can drive.
It really feels like they just wanted to write dialogue of the two partners talking in the car instead of having conversations just face to face. But they didn't have any conversation then. Let's see. My instinct says maybe over here. Let's see if we were right. Nope. It's right on the other side of this wall, it seems. So there must be some way around. No way over.
Hey, don't mind me.
We can look at the shops and the storefronts and the buildings, all of which have nice decoration and effort put on them, but it's kind of a waste of effort. It's too detailed. And all of this would have to be reskinned for GTA or any other game that was set in modern time. I feel like you might as well have gone with the idea of doing a neo-noir mystery detective novel in modern day. then everything could have been set in modern time, and then shot in a different style. And see here we have a great example
sphere,
of
which is many thousand spheres, solid as crystal yet empty. Isn't there an armillary sphere at the LA County Art Museum?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Let's go.
So the game finally says, look, you haven't figured it out. Fine, go to this place. Still looking for the car though. Man, is that well hidden? The big 18-wheeler trucks and trailers here are specifically not cars, so you don't have a reason to
How are we gonna look getting around in this thing, Cole?
to try and drive them, which is great considering they probably would drive horribly. Tucker torpedo, 56 of 95. Map now. Right. So I think we've got it. The only thing that, like, that's the Westlake Tar Pit, and this is the Christ Crown of Thorns, which, if I was to guess, is probably where we're going to end up going later.
Can you drive to this one?
It's going to be a little long to wrap up here, so I imagine next time we'll finish this mission, and probably in just a crazy chase sequence. This is way too much experimentation. Again, this feels like something that was developed very early in the process, and then there was a ton of extra things that were added.
When do you think we'll reach the end of this thing?
Let's see. Bunch of art.
Isn't he the cop that won the medal and is solving all the cases?
Center of the proverbial labyrinth? How long's a piece of string? How many unsolved murders have we got in this city?
How many solved ones?
Generally speaking, you aren't learning much when your mouth is.
There's an entire art museum here. Like another big round building that
Playing at being bored.
we never do anything in. How much of this world is never seen? Even though I'm driving around and playing as crazy as and inefficiently as possible. Like, why wasn't there a dead body found inside this place? This is a great scene for a murder, instead of yet another dumped body in an alleyway. Seems like there's no way to the
Are you drunk, mister, or you just cracked?
to the second floor. I was thinking maybe there was a badge, but I guess not. Not yet. We may find a badge somewhere else. This way to the maze. So this way, not to the maze? Alright. All this action sequences, all of these puzzle sequences And that's certainly not what I would want. Like, I don't think that adds anything to the game if this was more of a story-based game like Telltale that also had a bunch of mazes and action sequences and QuickTime events. I might take QuickTime events over being forced to play in an open world engine, but preferably I would just like pure cutscenes. That one of the games that they're gonna release pretty soon in the next year or two.
No intention of going in. I heard that thing's tricky.
Is gonna have QuickTime events where you can just hit any button you want.
Think about hidden meetings.
And again, our partner completely refuses to help. Well, this is not gonna be too hard. We'll use the standard keep the right or left hand on the wall. Now, technically, I would bet this is a labyrinth, but maybe it actually is a maze. No, this one actually I think is a maze, because the labyrinths are for meditation and all paths lead to the center, whereas mazes have dead ends and can stop you. Well, that was too easy. I have a feeling that some of these paths are actually locked off and you can't hit them at all. And what have we got now?
Once belonging to Celine Axford Henry.
Another ring. What is moving this machine? A motor?
Thrones, altars, judgment seats, prisons. No, it couldn't be.
So a couple more pieces of evidence, and then it fades out.
See? That was easy.
I found Celine Henry's ring.
How far does this thing go? How did we not catch this nut job?
That is a good question. And sadly there's really not a good answer. It's nighttime now, and nowhere I see has any flickering lights of a detective's badge. I imagine there probably is one somewhere around here. It's just, can I find it? Maybe if we took a casual run around the building, we might find it sitting somewhere. Whatever though, in all honesty, do we need to find all 20 badges to unlock an outfit that was just DLC and gives you, I guess, if you get 5 XP each time, you get about 100 extra XP. But yeah, it's not really worth your time. It's starting to rain, interesting. Again, there is no dynamic weather or lighting system in this game, so we are storyline reason having it turn to night and rain, not just because. Which you kind of can't have dynamic weather in this game, because there were certain cases that specifically pointed out when it had rained and when it hadn't. So that wouldn't work. Well, I feel like I've been through everything except for the inside of that building enough, so there probably is a badge somewhere in the inside of that. And let's look at the map. As it goes, there's probably no street crime and no hidden cars. So I could either go to a place I've already been, like LA Cold Storage or Pershing Square, or just an area I've already been, or I can go to the Christ Crown of Thorns, which is almost certainly the location we need to go to. And then that, in my estimation, is probably where we're gonna just chase the Black Dahlia killer, go into a particularly long chase sequence if I recall correctly, but I could be totally wrong about that, and then capture him or kill him and then be done with the Black Dahlia cases and move on to arson or vice. I think vice is last, so next should be arson. Street crimes completed. We've done 20 of 40, so we're halfway there. 12 of 21 story missions, so we're close to halfway there. We've got 9 of 30 landmarks, so there's another 2/3, another 21 landmarks in Hollywood we haven't been able to find or haven't visited. 0 of 50 film reels. Cars, 56 of 95, so that is still very much doable. Newspapers found 4 of 13, so still 8 to go there. That might be the right number, that might be totally wrong. We're at rank 16 of 20, and it's taking longer and longer to get up to the top rank. At this rate, we may only be at rank 19 by the time we're done. Clue inspection really hasn't changed. Notebook questions hasn't changed at all because we haven't done any interrogation. All of that system is out the window. In fact, yeah, this whole mission is completely different from all the other previous missions because we haven't found a single clue that actually helps us interrogate or prove the guilt of anybody. We don't have any suspects or persons of interest. Vehicles, nothing really has changed there. Brawling, not bowling, hasn't really changed. Gunfighting hasn't really changed. And game time has put us at 14 hours now. And we've collected 2 of 20 shields, so there's 18 more around there. If they are sporadically spaced between the landmarks, then 18 plus the 21 landmarks left to be discovered tells me that there are 3 landmarks we might see in the story, and then the rest of them are going to be in places where, well, what it tells me is that of the landmarks that are remaining in game, 3 of them probably don't have a silver badge, and the rest probably do, or maybe not. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.